Men are simple, but they also teach you how to love them. They teach you how to care for them. So don't go in with what worked for you with the last guy or the guy before that or any guy in the history, because this guy is going to teach you about him specifically. You have to do it at his pace and his way. Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Purpose and Powerful podcast. Tonight we're talking about soft guy error. 50-50 is not 100%. I'm Erica Lester along here with my co-hosts.
The real Jabril Wilson.
Welcome everyone. So what is the soft guy error exactly? It's a term that's being tossed around pretty much everywhere on social media. And essentially, what is that exactly? Well, it's basically a new movement. You've seen a lot of it on TikTok, some of it in Instagram, and it's the millennial men's direct response to women's perceived sense of entitlement in regards to dating them online. The women they're really coming after is women who see themselves as the ultimate prize and refuse to date broke men who won't take care of them. And basically, they have another term associated with this called drizzle. What that basically means is they're hearing all these women say, oh, I want a guy that's making six figures. I want him to have this. He got to be able to do this. He has to be able to do that, while not sitting in the same position, while not having those same attributes, while not attaining those same achievements. And they're like, that's out. I understand what men before did, but now we're claiming something brand new. So, Dr. Jabril, you're more of a modern man with old school values. What do you think about this soft guy era that's going on right now? Oh, you're on mute. What are your thoughts on the soft guy era?
Elaborate directly what you just asked me straight, because I can go a couple of ways. Ask me a straight question, I'll give you a straight answer.
Certainly. So you're a modern man with old school values, meaning you understand, well, modified. So before our generation, about 2 generations ago, which would have been the generation before our parents at this point, they believed in the man being the breadwinner of the household. Women might have some work, maybe not work full time. Their careers weren't really the thing that the household leaned on to pay the bills and move it forward. So then we began to shift with credit and different things that took place in the Western nations with credit and different things like that, and women in the workplace wanting equal share, those types of things. And so now women can be pretty much every sphere that a man can be. We can be head of the board, we can be the CEO, we can be the CFO. There's really not so much of a glass ceiling in a lot of ways. I mean, we are still fighting for equality in some areas. However, whereas women in those generations understood the man's role, they are now like, oh, it's a minimum requirement. And now they want those values, but they're not bringing to the table the sacrifices and the things that the men that used to provide in the same way. So they want to pick and choose. Oh, I want to be a modern woman and do what I want, but I want to have that man that's going to take care of everything. And men now, our generation, are like, hold up, wait a minute. You want a man making 6 figures? I don't want a broke woman. You want a man to have some assets? You want to use me for my paycheck? Well, I don't want to take care of you. You want me, you're gonna have to have more because I don't want to be used. I'm not here for the 50 dates and trying to get a free meal, trying to get a free bag, trying to get a free whatever. So I've noticed that you have some of the old generational attributes of men, but you have the modern, like, okay, you have a wife who is in the workplace. You have a wife that is pretty powerful on her own, independent. And so with that, you looked at your potential wife as being something a little bit more, not it being all on you, but you wanted your wife to step up to the table and have some things of her own as well. So there were things about her strength that attracted you, but the soft guy era is like, nah, 50-50. 50-50 is where we're at. Or you're gonna have it better than me.
Well, I think that, well, thank you. I mean, I don't think in anything is 50-50, no matter what. I mean, you have situations where even if it were pound for pound, same salary, same situation, but one person may have children and the other person may not. So already it's not 50-50. Someone could have more than one degree, which puts them in a different salary. And another person could have maybe had something with crime, but now they have the salary. So those things can help, or credit. So it's never 50-50 on paper. I think that, again, we talked about last week with Thomas and his wife about the confidence and communication and collaboration. So I think that when you combine everything, you just have 100. And it doesn't matter, because one year somebody can have a job and something happens. So you can't use that and then they can lose it because it's just a job. If you're an entrepreneur, you and I both know certain things are tied to the market and the needs of our clients. Oh, it's no guarantee. So what you see at face value, I mean, it's now, it could look like it's 100%, but later on, things can change very quickly. So again, I feel that you should be friends first and not measure it on the quantity, but the quality of the friendship and the relationship and the communication, and collaborate. Because if you're together, if one person is doing well, both of you are doing well. If one person is not doing well, then you're not doing well here together. And I think that that's the mindset, no matter from the beginning of time to now, and now more than ever. It's so many things happening, and men are not really men anymore. Some men are they've decided to go another direction with preferences. So you only get a fourth of a man. He's somewhere else, or a woman. So I'm going to just put it all out there. I don't even know if it's 50-50 is even what to call it anymore. I mean, for the sake of the show, absolutely. But you're getting half of a man and a woman who's divided somewhere else. And then with this thing right here, it makes cheating and deceit so easy and convenient, unfortunately. So that's
Quarter of
kind
a
of.
man. I like it.
You said what?
I like it. A quarter of a man, you're getting 25% of the man.
I know, if that. All right.
Right. I
So,
think it's it is some payback in there, because God rest his soul, the Kevin Samuels thing. There were some things that he said that I could, agree with, but there were a lot of things. I think it was more of his approach was really brash, but it was crazy because the women really kind of put themselves in the situation. They would call in and ask the question or become the guinea pig, so to speak, to ask the question and be willing to be the sacrificial lamb for whatever he responded back with. But at the end of the day, I think when he died and everything, they said that he was actually recording in someone's closet. It wasn't in his home. It was a bunch of nonsense. At the end of the day, you can't refute good information.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying, I thought he was in a hotel, so maybe I heard something else.
Like it was in somebody's closet, like his studio was somebody's closet, and then he died in a hotel, or something to that effect. But the studio itself where he did his show was like in someone's closet. I don't know. I don't know what the facts are, but the information is really what I want to point out. And so when you have things like that, the forum, the safe space, the thing that supports and their journey or their viewpoint, that is the thing that has set this type of soft guy era in motion.
Why do people call it the soft guy?
Right, the soft guy era, right. So at the end of the day, it's like this. Those vows, outside of relationship, let's say you marry the person and of course they are the breadwinner. This is the situation. Well, those vows say sickness and in health. So for richer, for poor, for better or for worse. So if you're only relying on one side of that equation, when they have bad financial scenarios that take place, you get up and leave the man.
You shouldn't. And vice versa. Come on. A man
Right.
can leave a
It's just
woman.
not, yes.
Yeah.
So I get it. Men are like, well, I don't want to be used. And so, I mean, people are just doing the most out there in the dating scene. They're like, well, can I get, I'm saying, can they get a free bag? Like, they're just every week some days some different guy is taking them to dinner, lunch, or whatever, and then they have the standards of, oh, you can't take me to Chick-fil-A, or you can't take me here or there, and it's just like, look, this is what I tell all the ladies. No man has ever taken me to a place that I cannot take myself. He has never done anything for me that I have not first done for myself, be it a bag, spa, whatever the case may be, a trip, whatever. Because
Right.
when you can provide those things for yourself, you now have a measurement of your deserved level. But arbitrarily, just because this man gets with you, recruits you, woos you, does not entitle you to anything. You both are coming to the table. You don't have a right to access to his wallet. He doesn't have a right of access to your purse. You're coming to the table with everything that you have in terms of personality. Now we can see where we can get. And I would even say, don't even get involved in the what do you do scenario. Let's find out the favorite colors. Let's get to know each other organically. And then when you can test out the truthfulness, the different attributes of the person, then they are earning the right to learn more about your life and more about your background, and certainly learn more about your upbringing. See, I think people do things too quickly, too hot and heavy, and all of that. That's the thing.
I would agree. People get things
So,
start off real hot, and you're hungry or you're thirsty for something, and you just jump in and grab the bag and eat it up and get indigestion, you get sick. But what I don't understand is after you throw that up, you come back and eat more, or you want more. I don't understand what that's about.
well, it's like the word says, a dog returns to his vomit.
Ooh.
Yeah. You go back to the place where you're comfortable or where you've settled and say that is your reserve level. This is why people keep attracting the
Your
same
deserve
type of
level?
people.
Is that what you just said?
Right.
I love that, your deserve level.
That's
Listeners,
right.
your deserve level. And the deserve level comes with your self-concept. Who do you see yourself? Not who you want to be. Who do you see yourself? Because there's certain things you wouldn't accept. And if a person knows who you are, because you've shown that first, they wouldn't even approach you then. They may test you, but they're not going to continue. So they can tell that you're not serious.
Goes back to the old adage, never judging a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you my history of relationships, especially when I was much younger, everything that was flashy, as the old people would say, everything that glitters is not gold.
Right.
So there were men when I was growing up, when I was young and dating, just I'm talking about like 19 or 20. They would look the best, they would drive the best. You would go to their house and their house was a mess. And I was like, negative.
Didn't even want to use the bathroom.
No, you can't serve me a glass of water out of that kitchen. We just stop. But see, that's what I'm saying is he did everything on the outside appearance wise. But you know what? That was just a reflection of how he felt on the inside. He felt like the outside dressing was the best that he could come up with.
Well, that's all he had to offer.
That's right. And you know what? In speaking with him and having conversation with him, he was not that deep. Mm-hmm. And so window dressing, it worked for women, other women, it didn't work for me. So again, I felt like I deserved more at a different level, at a deeper level. I wanted to see this intelligence, which I think is so sexy, but that was not flowing in the manner which that I A was accustomed or B that I expected. But these were reflective traits that I that I possessed myself. So it wasn't like I was wanting the man to be somebody he was not, or become someone that really wasn't part of who he was either. Because at the end of the day, my list, honestly, has always been my list. The things that I'm attracted to now are always the things that I've always been attracted to. They've just become more refined as time has gone on.
I see. Well, some other people might have a different approach, and I'll just share this. Sometimes, and you talk about the helpmate fit, if the man, and I've seen women do it, it's not fixing a man or making a man, but areas where he may be weak, he might not be the most tidiest guy, but his heart is in the right place. And if that's an easy fix or that comes natural to you, you could be the person who sets that standard and helps in the household. And then he would grow into that. And same with areas that you might need more assistance. So I think that maybe if it's not just, I mean, stuff all over the walls and roaches running around and everything, you might hang on a little longer. I mean, that's just my suggestion, just to see. Now, it's the difference between not being tight and being filthy. So the filthy part, I can understand. But if it's something manageable, or you could lend a hand and they're open to receive, then I say maybe you never know.
Right.
That's just, maybe not for you, but I'm speaking to our listeners. Even somebody can have they can have a bad car month or quarter where it's crumbs everywhere. And, you know, we've seen these cars. And I mean, sometimes bags get all in my car, sometimes it's my, but the person I am, if they can see past that for a minute, because I give the same person that same grace, then you would realize this is a matter of working together and cleaning it up. And you would just get all back in alignment. And I've seen that happen with different people, even because health, somebody's not taking care of their health. You start going to the gym with them, it's a whole different thing. So it's a perspective, Erica. If you feel like you're their friend first, which I know works the best for you, that's how you build trust, loyalty, and understanding and patience for each other.
Absolutely, right? Words of wisdom.
That's
and
all.
so that's also how you know yourself, right? Because when I said the messiness, I was like, okay, I like that he dressed nice. I like that he had a nice car. That was great. But it was other things that I find were important to me that he did not meet. So the messiness was like just the first sign of, we need to dig a little deeper. But I would share this to all of our female listeners. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and they mentioned in their next relationship, they want the man to be able to tell them if they're doing too much, because they have a nurturing personality. And I said, here's how you're going to help yourself. Men are simple, but they also teach you how to love them. They teach you how to care for them. So don't go in with what worked for you with the last guy or the guy before that or any guy in the history, because this guy is going to teach you about him specifically. You have to do it at his pace and his way. So, for example, I said, some men, they want to be baby when they're sick. Oh, they want you to tuck them in, all that good stuff, hook them up with some soup. And some men just want to be left alone, and I'll call you when I'm better. You have to learn that. But you can't learn that, ladies. Here's what I'm going to tell you a couple things right now. You're not going to learn that sleeping with him first. Let's just keep it real.
You said sleeping what?
Sleeping with him first, you're not going to learn that. You need time in this thing. You need to pace yourself anyway. You don't want that body count to be that high, and you want to make sure this is the guy you want to be with. But he's not going to train you on himself unless you have time. So it's going to take some conversation. It's going to take more than one date. All of this stuff, but I get it, it's hot and heavy, and you like the way he says your name, and you like the sound of his voice, and he's so cute and all this stuff. But longevity, though, that's how you will learn him more and more day by day. It's exciting. All relationships, everything new is all exciting. Like a toy, just don't be the toy, this shiny new object that he just unwrapped and played with for a few days, and now it's the next thing. You just have to slow yourself down and wait. Women, we have patience issues.
Mhm.
Patience issues. I know, because
Women
you're
as
looking at the
well.
phone, you're like, oh, he's calling. Oh my God, this is gonna be. Wait, wait, wait. Timing is everything in relationships. But as Dr. Jabril said, it's like things fall apart. It won't be because you slept with him the first night for most men. But I would caution you to wait and find out more about the man, because the thing is, women typically put their heart where they last lay. And now you're having buyer's remorse because you're in love with this man and he's not in love with you, and you don't know how to back yourself out of the situation. Give
Booty.
him time. Let him catch up with you.
You heard what I said? Booty remorse, buyer's remorse.
That too. But it is not that man's fault if you gave it to him early.
Right. You
Let's
can't.
take some accountability.
You got to train the person. I mean, you leave. All right. People like dogs eat what? Usually what? What kind of food?
They like dog food.
Dog food. They like dog food, but they love what food? Human food.
That's right.
You don't want a dog to have your human food. You don't put it out there and walk away and hope that they don't eat it. And they're not going to save you any. I mean, look at humans. Humans don't even save food that's really good. So what makes you think a dog is going to, I mean, so my point is, and I guess it's a joke, but when you're dealing with dogs, women especially, don't try to have a conversation with a dog. It's not going to be loyal. They say a dog is a man's best friend. Well, maybe a man, but you never heard it say a woman's best friend. And I'm telling you, it doesn't work. So you don't put yourself in a position where you can get attacked.
I love it. Well, they say diamonds are a girl's best friend. So if you're looking for that diamond ring, you have to put some time in the situation.
You don't get dogged out.
Diamonds take pressure to cultivate and time. Well, I know you're under pressure because that man is fine. Everything just responds. The way he smells, the way he looks, it's all exciting. So exciting. It'll be more exciting if it's your wedding day, if you can make that work. That's going to be tough. I understand.
It's definitely not easy. Easier said than done, but.
That's right. That's right. You have an understanding. Mature people can have an understanding. You have an understanding conversation. But you know what? That's going to take that distance.
You can't have ice cream in your face and say you want to die. And it'll be all over your face. But I'm gonna tell you, I know why. I don't know if you know why some of our listeners are not on tonight, and I forgot about this. Tonight is the playoffs, game 2, Boston versus the Mavericks. So we're gonna end a little bit early tonight, but because we see that everybody's there and people probably are with their loved ones, and I don't know who you're picking. Did you pick anyone for the series, Erica?
I picked the couch or the bed.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing it. One of the two.
Well, next week, I mean, I want you to tell them what's going on next week. We always let you know it's a special weekend next weekend, but I'm gonna let Erica.
Absolutely. Next week is where we're going to celebrate all the wonderful fathers, the fathers that have the children biologically, the fathers that are part of the village who they're not your blood children. We appreciate you. We appreciate all the uncles and the brothers and everyone stepping up to help raise the child. So we want to celebrate you. And so next week, we're going to have our replay of dating in the church, especially for all of our faith-based people. We want to give you those nice, wonderful tips to navigate dating in the church. But remember, who's for you may not be in your specific congregation, especially when you're dealing with that male to woman ratio. But patience, let patience have her perfect work. That's what we got going on next week.
I can't wait. And all you fathers and woman fathers out here, we wish you happy Father's Day in advance next week.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful week. And we look forward to seeing you soon here on the Purpose and Powerful podcast.
Have a great night.